Okay, and I should be back now. So I reset the stream. It should be 720p now. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues for me. Or for you, if you're there. Anyway, what I was saying was I've done this draw gizmos, and it just draws a sphere based on the activation range of this thing. So the activation range is what triggers what where the player has to be within that area before it starts spawning. So it's a visual way to see what the spawner is set at. So like I could set this one, activation ranges are currently almost 12. So let's set it to 120. Zoom out here. You see its entire game field, right? So if the player was anywhere, it would spawn. It's real nice, real nice. Set that to wherever you want. I rather enjoyed creating that and setting it up. It makes level design very, very nice. So,
stop shooting.
I have been poked. Come on, what'd you say? Oh, you just poked me. I poke you back. Yeah, so initially I was thinking of making... Hello?
Hello?
What you doing?
Watching that video.
You're welcome.
Why?
I don't know. It just came up on YouTube when I logged in to do this stream. I'm like,
Oh
okay,
my.
what is that about? Because I like that guy's channel, right?
Yeah.
He does some good stuff. That was just completely off the wall.
Okay then.
So, anyway.
Well, we'll be up there if you want to come join us.
Okay. You guys are playing Smite though, right?
Yeah, for now it's lasts much longer. It's not going well.
Yeah, well. I was already thinking of streaming anyway, so when you guys said get out, I was like, okay, fine.
Joking.
But anyway.
We were all joking.
Oh, I know.
We haven't talked to you in days.
I know. And it's because of the reason I'm streaming, so.
Okay. Alright, we'll be up there though.
Okay, later.
Is anyone there?
So originally what I was saying was, when I started doing this, and stream health is saying it, what? We recommend that you set the stream quality to this. What I was saying was, I originally was thinking this would be some type of maze thing, and you'd run through it in the dark, so that, kill this guy. That light I had over here for the sun would be set to something like this. Oops, that did not take at all. Negative 90, please. Oh, for real? Oh, that's right, I gotta set it in code. So it would look something like this, where you're in the dark. That is not the dark either. Negative 90. So you'd be in the complete dark. Your character has the light around him, so you can see him. And of course he has his flashlight so that he can see the enemies coming at him. Kind of like a spooky maze thing, right? So you need to use your flashlight to see the maze walls and all that stuff. But I got thinking, well, what if I wanted to expand this more and more and more and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, got to the point where I was like, okay, I want to make this into more of a infinite world kind of thing with terrain generation. These guys are going to be zombies, and they'll spawn at different areas, and they'll come after you, blah, blah, blah. So maybe we won't use this exact spawner, or we'll modify it somehow. I think all of this has been a good learning experience for me, but I really kind of want to go and make this a much bigger thing than I originally planned, and maybe that's bad for me. I don't know, because I tend to not finish things already, and I'm trying to make one that I actually finish. We'll see if that works. So, where to go from here? I did start on this day-night cycle, which should be on the level, maybe? Time control, yeah. So let's edit the script. And I just set it up real basic, like, so if the total time is greater than 10, it changes the rotation of my sun to make it point down instead of pointing up, like which is default, right? So that's kind of where it's at. Let's do a UI text image. And let's focus on this bad boy, and let's see. So I want to center this by the top and focus again. Okay, so now our text is at the top. We'll call this day text. Just like that. And we'll call this JX at 0000. Something like that. So that's like your time you've been alive in the world. Day 0. And back to the time script. We're going to get a component, find a component. We're going to set a private text object text. What's that called? Just UI text, not part of the system. UI text. GUI text. We'll assume that's it. We'll don't know. That was text. Call it day text. And date text equals find object of type. Find object of type. We'll call it text. GUI text. Okay, and then down here we'll just say GUI day text dot text equals day 0 day 1, I guess, because it's always gonna be 1, right? Plus total time. Okay, let's see if that works. See if we get this text showing up on our screen and if it changes. We do have the text showing up there. However, it's just showing 0, so we're not actually linking into it. We're getting those error messages. Null reference, object reference does not set to an instance of an object, so it actually didn't find the object, which is what I was afraid of. So what kind of component is that? I don't really understand that. It's a text script. Find object. Yeah, let's do this instead. So let's just make this public. And this is on the level. Needs to recompile. Go to the level. Day text is a GUI text. Can we pull this over there? We cannot. So that means that's a different type of object. You look up on Unity's website. Oh, is it just a text? That's funny. So, using Unity engine.ui. There we go. Now I should be able to link that over. There. There we go. Now I've got text counting up. Awesome. Obviously just formatting there, but we can deal with that. I just want to know what time it was in the game. So that's the basic concept. We also can scale the size up. Sorry, 12. Let's try 24. This doesn't really give a good representation of what you're actually going to see, unfortunately. Why is our text being cut off? It's not wide enough or something? Can we anchor it to the left and the right too? Okay, that didn't seem to work. just center the text. That's what I was looking for. Yep, cool. Yay. Okay. And I'm not bothering formatting it right now because I know it's going to be a little wonky. Because I don't have a daylight cycle defined in mind of how long the daylight is, how long night is, and all that. Just using 10 for testing purposes, basically. So we got that up. This level empty object that I created, so it's over here. It's intended to be position 0, a placeholder for the level itself. So I probably should create a new script on this that's going to be the world generation and all that. But before we get into that, I guess I kind of need to build some basic structures and things like that, or plan that out. So yeah, we've got this maze for this example that I've kind of started on. I'm going to save this. The thought process being is I create a house. So let's do this. There's prefabs here. Let's go ahead and create a new folder. Level elements. Okay. And I almost wish I could do a new scene right now and just build that new scene all the time. The other thing we could do is build this in Blender. I like Blender. Let's go to Blender for a second, see if it's going to be all buggy. So, at one time I had an issue with Blender being horrible frame rates for me, no matter what I would do. And it looks like it might be doing that again. Yeah, so what happens is something goes funny with my Blender, and I get like 2 seconds per frame. So I guess I can't do that right now. And it requires a reboot to fix it. That's unfortunate. It's something to do with my video drivers and all that stuff. Okay, we'll just do prototyping. Let's create a new cube. Let's create a new empty first. House. Rename it. House 1. So what I'm thinking is you'll be living in a world where there's cities and houses, etc. Can I not make that a child of the house? There we go. So let's go over here to scale. Go to scale you this direction and up a bit and over. Well, not over. Can make you pretty thin actually. Okay, and then we'll go down. Right there's good. So that can be one wall of a house. Going to try and duplicate that. Yep, did. Pull that over there. Duplicate again. Going to rotate this time. 90 degrees on that axis. Okay. And then we'll grab this, pull this up here. Let's see, what is my snapping? Editor settings? No. Snap settings. Let's go back to the scene, so move X, Y, Z, 1, 1, 1. Scale is 0.1. Okay, and then if I hold, is it Alt? No, Control? Yeah, Control's a snap. Okay. There we go. Control C, Control V. There we go. So we've got a basic shape of a house, right? And then let's go with this for now. House 1. We'll make that a prefab. This is going to change drastically over time. I'm well aware of that. So there's house 1. And then let's make house 2 be the longer. There we go. Like that. Okay, and then this wall. Bring it over like this. That's good. Yep. And then we'll just duplicate that wall there if I can get that one selected by itself. So I'm just trying to make a different house shape so we have something to work with of reference point in the code. There we go. And we'll duplicate that one. And scalar way down. Okay, so we got an L-shaped house, and we'll name this one house 2. If that makes it separate. Yeah, cool. So if I drag in house 1, it's like that. If I drag in house 2, it's like that. So we can instantiate each one separately. There's house 1. Let's get rid of this too. Okay, so let's turn off the maze for now. Let's turn off the spawn points for now. So the next thing is, how do we spawn these in? And the floor area needs to be really infinite somehow. That seems pretty infinite. How far do we have to zoom out? All the way zoomed out, still can't see the edges of it, so that'll be like it's infinite for us. Let's set our player's transform to 0. Let's get rid of this pickup for now. We'll just disable it. Here's an enemy in the world. That's okay. Gosh, why are we freaking out? It's probably the size of the stupid thing, so let's do 10,000. Just for now. Yep, that's what it was. Because the code that determines where them looking casts a ray, and the size of that must have been casting that ray into the plane a little funky. Fair enough. Okay. To the level. I'm gonna add a script. Or did we already do that? No, we did, because it'd be there. Add a new script. World gen. And of course, we're gonna edit it. Okay. On start. So on the start, so when the world first loads in, we need to generate the world. We'll call world gen. Generate world. generate world. Let's get a random private random r. Public seed. I think that thing takes a seed. Int seed. R dot get, really, R dot ew. I was thinking Java. Airbrat seed equals seed. If seed. Can you not set it? Remember, seed is obsolete. Deprecated. Use init state. Okay. If seed equals 0, so 0 will indicate that there is no seed being passed, and we'll generate one on our own. If seed does not equal 0. Does not equal 0. Too many E's. Is it really like I thought? Not equals. There we go. So we're going to use that seed. Okay, and then we're going to, gosh, get a random position and spawn something for now, I guess. Which means we need a random X and Z because the Y coordinate we want it to be specific. So void spawn building for there we go. Y equals length. Okay, so we'll do it 100 times. And dot turns a random array between 0 and 1 inclusive. So we're going to build things within 0 to, no, negative 1,000 to positive 1,000. Yeah. That's only going to X, init, float. X equals that, float Y, Z. What's that? And this is probably an int. That's okay. Use random dot range. So we're getting our X and Z coordinates randomly. Float. No, int house type equals this is going to be a range also. And this range is going to be between 0 and 1. New vector 3. X 0 Z, and then house type. If house type equals 0, if house type equals 1. Instantiate look at the spawner code real quick. So I'm going to instantiate in here, enemy, get enemy random index. As a list of transforms, so it's actually taking it from publics. I believe the player's other place where I spawn things as far as the bullets are concerned, and I'm actually giving it a prefab, so I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to be a little cheaty and go with an array just like this. Call these houses. And then we can cheat even more and say houses.house. Houses.length. Aha, see? So the first one all the way through the length. Ship bias should do -1. So it'd be, yeah, -1. And then we can do houses. House type. I don't need this anymore. Haha. One line of code. And then we're going to go position, which is where dot position. It's going to be where, and then the rotation is quaternion dot up. No, 0 up. Identity. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, so now we just need to add those two prefabs to this. Okay, so we got an array of houses. We're going to sell it to 2. Drag 1 into 1 and 2 into 2. And play. So in theory, there should be 1,000 of these things. And there is. It's 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. I screwed something up. Oh. Derp derp. Set the min and max on the range to the same values. Start again. Yeah, now they're all over the place. Cool. But I don't want to have to explore much, so I'm going to set it much lower. Now this is going to be a randomly generated world, however, it's not going to be a procedurally generated world yet. I mean, it is, but it's not infinitely generated world. That's what word I was looking for. Okay, I need to go to 32. Yeah, let's just do this. We'll play this, go back to scene view, zoom way out. Hit F. Oh, so they're there, but they're just underneath the ground. So it did generate them. Why are they under the ground? So the floor is at 0. Where's our player at? He's at 0.5 right now on the Y coordinate. The house is at 0. That's why. There we go. Had a transform applied to the house before it even spawned. Still underneath. Why are you still underneath? Okay, so -1. Just trying to sort out what's going on, guys. Why would it need to be so far above to make it? The maze is at 0. Its parent is at 0. The floor is at -1. Player is at 1.5, and he falls down when it actually starts. You can actually see that. And he kind of just falls. Huh. Zero, 0. Scale and rotation are 1s. Or scale is 1 on both of those. It spawns under the ground. Okay, let's just kill the floor for a minute. I happened to land on one. Oh, that's too funny. Okay, now I'm screwed because I fell off. But they're spawning in for sure. Player object is 1.5. Well, let's just have this spawn a floor too. Let's see. So new plane. Is that what the floor was? Floor is a cube. It was a cube originally. Let's try plane though. New plane. P equals new plane. Give it a normal, give it a vector, give it 3 vectors. I think the normal and a vector makes sense, so vector 3 dot up and vector 3 dot 0. And p dot add. Can we add a component to it? Unity engine dot add component menu. Okay. Unity. Unity, how to add a component in code. Script, that works. Okay, so new game object, really? So we need to instantiate something. So instantiate so we can give it an object rotation and position, or whatever that one is. I don't know that one. So object rotation and position is our best bet. So new game object. So game object. I'm kind of writing this on the fly as I go because I don't know. We'll figure it out on our own. Game object, so we're creating a plane. Why do you look like you're giving me an error there? You are. String of a name. Well, let's name it. The ground. Okay, so ground dot add a component. Mesh render. With mesh. Create object plane. Deprecated. You cannot use this. Is what it's saying. So is obsolete. Add component with string argument has been deprecated. Use game adject. Okay. Okay. So like this. And we'll call this mesh. M equals that. We'll do this. And we'll get the mesh back. M dot. Now what are you complaining about? Come on. Any mesh cannot be used as a type. Param type T. Generic type method. There is no implicit reference conversion from mesh to Unity component. Mesh filter. MF, that MF, that dang MF, dot mesh equals, let's look up the mesh filter. Probably would be easier at this point just to create my own in Unity and be done. But I haven't. Hoo-hum.
Who are you?
Hello.
No.
So what?
Still streaming?
Yeah, I could be pulled away from it because there's a grand total of 1 watching, which is probably me.
Oh.
So what's up?
Not much. Trying to think of something we could do. Everyone's using the bathroom. They're probably gonna still want to play Smite. I wanted to involve you in something.
Okay.
I don't know what, but
Uh,
5 of us.
5 of us. You never got CSGO, right? Help has it, Alchao has it. I don't think Aragorn has it. Aragorn's not gonna get it, never mind. I don't know, whatever.
Wanna go see if they want to do something?
Sure. Goodbye, stream.
Is anyone there?